Our UN mission in South Sudan is working around the clock to ease tensions, engaging all parties, and boosting protection of civilians. But we face operational limitations. For the sake of the long-suffering people of South Sudan, it's time for dialogue and de-escalation. The Horn of Africa is already in turmoil and cannot afford another conflict, nor can the people of South Sudan. To the leaders of that country, I say, end the politics of confrontation. Release detained military and civilian officials now.
All right, good morning. The Secretary General makes some remarks, and then we'll take a couple of questions.
Let me begin by addressing some breaking news. A terrible earthquake has hit parts of Southeast Asia today. And we send our condolences to the governments and peoples of the region. The United Nations system is mobilizing to help those in need. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I want to focus today on the dramatic and dire situation that is unfolding in South Sudan. All the dark clouds of a perfect storm have descended upon the people of the world's newest country and one of the poorest. A security emergency with intensifying clashes, aerial bombing of civilians, including women and children, the presence of external forces, and an ever-growing regional dimension to the conflict. Political upheaval, culminating most recently with the arrest of First Vice President Riek Machar. The peace agreement is in shambles. A humanitarian nightmare, with about 3 out of 4 South Sudanese needing assistance, half the population severely food insecure, and cholera breaking out. A displacement crisis, with more than 1 million people crossing the border from Sudan since fighting began there. And an economic meltdown, with oil revenue plummeting and inflation skyrocketing 300%. Finally, a funding crisis, with much of the already limited humanitarian and development aid drying up. Meanwhile, ethnic and political targeting by security forces, coupled with the spread of misinformation on social media, is lighting the fuse for even worse. Let's not mince words. What we are seeing is darkly reminiscent of the 2013 and 2016 civil wars, which killed 400,000 people. Our UN mission in South Sudan is working around the clock to ease tensions, engaging all parties, and boosting protection of civilians. But we face operational limitations. For the sake of the long-suffering people of South Sudan, it's time for dialogue and de-escalation. The Horn of Africa is already in turmoil and cannot afford another conflict, nor can the people of South Sudan. To the leaders of that country, I say, end the politics of confrontation. Release detained military and civilian officials now. Fully restore the government of national unity, and vigorously implement the promises you made through your commitments to the peace agreement, which is the only legal framework to peaceful, free and fair elections in December 2026. I also urge the regional and international community, as guarantors of the peace agreement, to speak with one voice in support of the peace process and against any attempts to undermine it. We fully support the AU initiative to deploy the panel of the wise, as well as the efforts of Special Envoy of President Ruto of Kenya. And we'll be working in close cooperation with the AU and the IGAD. The panel of the wise and Raila Odinga will visit both Salva Kiir and Riek Machar. We are in very close contact with the African Union and with the IGAD in order to make sure that those visits produce the effect we want. And the effect we want is the reestablishment of the peace agreement and the creation of conditions for peace in South Sudan.